that we cannot say on some level that it's like, no, look, we have a desire to preserve our society and we want to do what's best. And we don't have to, out of some feeling of guilt, turn our country into something worse than what it otherwise would be. So I think he's got a point there. I'm not a big fan of Gad. He literally just, him and like Sam Harris and a few others, they literally just trash me all the time and refuse to engage on a single thing I've said. So like it'll just
Gad
be...
doesn't engage with you?
He calls me Wikipedia Dave on Twitter. And it's a... Well, look,
I like the guy.
Look,
but I have a different relationship with him than you do.
Well, that's true. And I'm a big critic of Israel, and he's a Mossad agent. So there is that. That is part of...
You think he is?
He's admitted that he worked for Mossad. Yeah.
In the past?
Yes. Yeah. I guess he would say he's not
he
currently.
Retired. Like, I used to...
Yeah,
I used to work for Newport Creamery. I don't represent them anymore.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit different with the Mossad thing. But I also think that the big component that I think all of those guys are missing is that we also create more enemies with our foreign policy. And that's not to say that, like, you know, they always kind of caricature my position on this. Like, I'm not saying Islam is all peaceful and there are no problems in the Islamic world or anything like that. In fact, I don't think any religion has truly always been peaceful. But, you know, for guys like, say, like Sam Harris, who these kind of like pretend intellectuals who have spent his entire career talking about how violent and irrational the Muslims are and how you can't even draw a cartoon of Muhammad or Muslims will want to do violent stuff. And like, hey, fair enough. That's bullshit. And we should all say, like, if you want to be over here in the West, our values are free speech and you cannot kill people for cartoons. But then like none of them ever also go, hey, you know, murdering an Ayatollah might be dangerous.
During Ramadan.
Yeah. Like that is, you know, that is not just a political figure to Shiite Muslims. That is so at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm fine with saying, okay, you don't want to have suicidal empathy. My buddy Keith Knight, who's brilliant, works over at the Libertarian Institute. He had, I forget what he said, but he said something like, okay, I don't want to have suicidal empathy. Let's also not have homicidal empathy. You know? And so like maybe it also is like, as we were tying into that whole conversation with the whole thing about the kids and women in Gaza, it's like, it's also the fact that if you just view slaughtering Muslim children in the Middle East and in Northern Africa as like just an acceptable political price, you know, that's just collateral damage. And unfortunately, that happens when we pursue this policy. You're going to deal with more and more of that. And the combination of both, Joe, like the combination of having open borders, having all these people get in, and continuing the war on terrorism and slaughtering people in these numbers must be the most insane combination ever. The idea that you'd be like, we're going to, you know, we're going to just make an entire generation of Muslims hate us because so many of them have seen what we've done to their countries. And also, we'll welcome all of them in with no checks and we can't get rid of them when they come here. Yeah. That is quite a combination.